Yes, sir.
Top of the morning to you, brother.
Top of the morning. So, the Spurs and T-Wolves.
Yeah.
First line of business. The T-Wolves defeated the Spurs 114 to 109. Wemby exited the game going towards the end of the second quarter. Lo and behold, he did throw one of them elbows on Naz Reid. So I can see why he got ejected. And the whole time when he was in that timeout, I was sitting there thinking, I know Wemby knows he's going to be ejected, but he's trying to keep his energy positive. That way he won't think that he's getting ejected. Lo and behold, they moved it from a flagrant 1 to a flagrant 2 foul. He went to Harrison Barnes and said, "Say." He was like, "What does that mean?" And then he pulled Harrison Barnes to him, and Harrison Barnes probably just told her, "You've been ejected." And then Wemby looks at me, he's like, "Been ejected?" He was like, "Okay." And he said real cool. I think because he already knew he was going to be ejected.
Right.
It's one of those things where it's all like, it could have been one of those things where somebody's trying to grab the basketball and then you just, but he just had enough and he just said, boom. But do you blame him? They had been bullying him since game one, bro. They had been trying to throw him on the ground, trying to get excessive hits whenever he's trying to get an offensive rebound, offensive board. They've been bullying him because they've been trying to test to see, hey, are you going to have an attitude or are you just going to keep going? You know what I'm saying? But finally, you can only poke the bear so many times where he was just like, look, I've had enough. Now, one thing that I'm happy to know is Naz Reid is all about 6'10". Because if he was about 6'8", that would have been a strong elbow to the face. You know what I'm saying? So luckily, he got him on the neck. Not saying that's not an easy spot, because that's a tough spot. That's about an esophagus, so that's a tough spot. But it's just the fact that, it's one of those things where it's an attitude thing. Like you get so roughed up so much, eventually you're going to burst. So what I am happy about is that he got ejected, but he's not getting in a bad situation, meaning he's going to get fined or get eliminated from playing in Game 5. But what I will say about this, watching the Spurs after he got ejected, I'm very impressed. They lost, but I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed because I feel like Anthony Edwards ran into another certified dog in Castle. Castle is another dog.
Castle's a dog.
He's another dog, and he showed it. I think Anthony Edwards was he's like, hold on.
Okay.
I still got a hoop.
Yeah,
because this dude hoop like me too.
He hooping, yeah.
He hooping
He
too.
attacked that rim.
Attacking that rim, trying to drop buckets, playing certified defense. And they play the Spurs play very scrappy defense. It's just that when you have a Wembanyama that's literally a cheat code in the post, it makes it where they can play scrappy and play possum until you try to go up for a bucket. All of a sudden, here come Wemby. He's 7'5" with a 10-foot wingspan. You know what I'm saying? So he's the ultimate cheat code.
Clean up, man.
He's the clean up man,
Yeah.
just in case. Okay? But that front court or that back court, they play scrappy the whole time until you get into the paint. And then they'll be like, oh, you went past me. Well, of course you went past me because we got Wemby right here. So I ain't even worried about trying to get some stupid fouls and hacking you so you can get an N1 when I know I got a 7'5" with a 10-foot wingspan center that can swap you or play possum like he over here and then swap you back from the back end just in case you thought he wasn't paying attention. That's the kind of chemistry the Spurs have.
Absolutely.
So I'm cool with that. So playing all the way down to the end of the last ticking seconds of the clock. Yeah, they may have lost 109 to 114, but they made the Wolves earn
Absolutely
that last little bit of time.
Absolutely.
So looking at that going into Game 5, I am so confident that the Spurs are going to come out swinging again. They're going to stay consistent. What I like is it hasn't been games where the Wolves was like, okay, we're going to blow out the Spurs. No. We're going to make you win and earn every bit of this, even if we don't have our star players. Because there was even times whenever De'Aaron Fox, he got out the game because he got a little injured. He got a little banged up. But Castle was still holding it down. Harper was still holding it down. I'm about to say Matt Barnes. Harrison Barnes was still holding it down. You know what I mean? I'm looking at that. And even the backup center for the Spurs was still holding it down. You know what I mean? I'm looking at that and I was like, they didn't make it easy on the Timberwolves at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's letting me know that's great coaching and also a team that truly believes no matter who's in there, the next man up type of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
The talent may have not been there, but the energy is always and will remain there. And that's huge going back to San Antonio.
Man, big talk. And I think that it sets the tone. It lets them know that they're more than just a one-man bandstand. they are a solid team. That's why they got there. I mean, Wemby had, times where he was down and rehabbing and nursing, and they still held it down. They won some games that were very challenging games without him at times. And I think those moments are pivotal for the playoffs, for the postseason, when you understand how to band together and we can still do this. Castle knows when to step up, how to step up. Harper's had to step up, in his young career over the beginning of the season. So now he's poised and ready to do it. Harrison Barnes, lean on your veteran. You know what I mean? They switch up how they run the offense. And that's why sometimes minor injuries during the season to your star player can show and prove to be beneficial later on in the postseason, just because you see that they're able to gel, switch the package. Like, oh, Wemby's out. Okay, let's switch over to the package. Boom, that we know is a winning formula. And so, to your point, I think it is encouraging that they did finish strong. It's challenging with the elbows and the bigs, just because it's such a dangerous trajectory with them bony elbows, man. You see it a lot of times. Some people don't get lucky enough. Sometimes you can't catch it in the nose, they catch it in the head, and they need leaking. And so those elbows are dangerous. But what I will say is the game of basketball on the professional level is very, very, very petty. Okay? And if you're not out there playing, them guys, I don't know if you saw what they did, Donovan Mitchell did with Tobias Harris when they were playing. He was crossing, and then as he was going by, he grabbed his knee a little bit to stop him from sliding his foot. Yeah, Tobias Harris went down because I think he hyperextended his hip or something like that. I think he wound up being okay, but he was hitting him with a cross move, and then as he was going by, he grabbed his knee. Just a little bit, just ever so slightly. Like, these guys don't only work on their jump shot and their footwork. They also work on them little savvy. We used to call it old man moves when we was younger. Little old man moves, elbow you real quick going by. Hit you in the liver. You know what I mean? Little stuff like that. Grab you at your wrist as they driving by you. Like, it's little things like that that wear on you. And for Wemby to be such an unstoppable force, you almost have no choice but to bang and beat him up. If you don't be a physical presence on him, he's going to drop 50, 15, and 10 on your head. Okay? Like, you got to put a little bone and an elbow on him. You got to use them fouls you have. But you run the risk of, if he got dog in him, he going to bark. He ain't going to just bark. He going to bite you. So you can keep on messing with that dog if you want to. He going to bite you. And I like the fact that he showed, I ain't just bark. I know I'm skinny and got a baby face, but I'll bite you too. And I'm bigger than you.
Yes.
And so it's a difference when you see a guy that, is very emotional. He's put himself in different environments, like went and studied the monks, and he studies these different things spiritually, right? It's easy to kind of be like, oh, okay, he's one of them. He lets you know, like, nah, I'll take it there. Yeah, I was willing to knock your tooth out if you wanted it. Yeah, keep on playing if you want to. Yeah, you lucky that was your neck. I was prepared to take a tooth with me. And when you know a guy got that go in him, I guarantee Nas Reeves plays different. That's what basketball people who don't play basketball don't understand. When you know a guy will take it there, all of a sudden, you treat him different. And sometimes you have to show a player, I will take it there. I will get ejected to show you, stop all this BS. You ain't messing with a chump. I will get ejected. Do it, try it again.
Yep.
Try it again.
And he was very calm about it, too. That's the thing. He was like, I got ejected. Okay.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
He kept it moving. I was like, he kept it moving. I was thinking, see, that's the type of energy going into game 5. He got a lot built up.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Man.
I'm excited about it because I get a little emotional on the court sometimes, right? And I can't stand when people try to bully. You ain't gonna bully me, and I like to bully the bullies. You gonna bully my teammates? No, step with a dog your own size, right? So I like when I see stuff like that. And also what I see is they call this bluff, and I don't have an iron in the fire, right? So Minnesota or Spurs, I hope the best team wins. Nothing against Nas Reed and them boys. I think they have to play tough defense on him. They have to do that. And Wemby, in order to not get beat down and get chumped, he had to let them know.
That is true.
But I saw the reaction of Nas Reed. And I'm going to tell you right now, a Boogie Cousins, they might have been scrapping. Somebody else, that might not have left the court. So he kind of took that bite, and he kind of went on by the way.
Yeah, he did.
He took that to the neck and kind of was like, all right, yeah, ref, y'all handle him, man. Y'all going to let him do that?
Yep.
Y'all going to let him do that to me like that? Yeah, he called his bluff.
Yeah.
He said, but what you what? Because I'm telling you, on the court, man, somebody swing that elbow like that, bro, that's almost instantaneous confrontation.
Yes.
If you ain't got ever a time to squab up on the court, when somebody throw a wild elbow like that, and it could hit your eye, nose, teeth. If you got that in you, it's gonna come out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like old boy from Detroit, the center. What is the name? That's always fighting everybody.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Come off the bench.
Yeah, he come off the bench and he's a high energy, but he needs a little bit more reserve. Right, he can't hold nothing. Like somebody wrong him, he's ready to go right now. He's like he got a big dog in him, but he need to tame just a little bit, so he can stay on the court and not foul out so much and not always resort to just fighting. Right, Boogie had just a little. His dog was a little bit. His leash was a little long. You know, he take it too far sometimes. But I really like to see that old school. You said it the last time we recorded. He's got that '90s style of basketball.
He does.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't know until they show. You don't know until it's shown. And I think he showed, like, you ain't gonna bully me. Y'all ain't gonna bully me. If this is what y'all think y'all gonna do to win this series, bully ball me, try again. You're gonna have to play some square up defense and slide them feet. Because I ain't going for that.
I'm curious to see what the refs are gonna do this coming up game. Because when I think about foul trouble on both sides, are they going to try to see if they're going to get scrappy and call some rinky-dink fouls early in the game to make sure the energy stays chilled?
Yeah.
Or are they going to allow for them to just keep hooping the way they are? That's what I'm going to be curious about whenever they get back to San Antonio.
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to be one of those things. I feel like, personally, Wemby's going to be aggressive. Nas going to be aggressive. All of them still going to be aggressive. Even Rudy Gobert going to be aggressive. But I'm curious to see if any of these bigs, whether for the T-Wolves or for the Spurs, are getting foul trouble quickly because of the unnecessary roughness or whatever you want to call it from the last game. I wonder if they're going to see if, like, okay, are we going to allow for him to be this aggressive? Because they've been trying to bully Wemby, and it's only because he's skinny. But I'm glad that he does have that 90s mindset where he's like, look, I could play scrappy basketball.
I want to scrap. I can scrap.
I mean, there's levels to this because y'all pushing me down on the ground. The refs ain't calling it and stuff like that. But but at the same time, I'm still gonna lock in on you.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how the refs respond to this as well, because refs have been playing a role in a lot of these series when it comes to excessive points being gifted at the free throw line. You know what I mean? Or just putting players in foul trouble where now the other team can be a little more dominant on offense or be more aggressive on offense or be more aggressive on offense when it comes to the paint because you got bigs like in foul trouble. So it's going to be interesting to see how they monitor the aggressiveness of this next game.
Great point. Great point, because I can see both teams coming out motivated.
Mm-hmm.
I can see Wemby kind of coming out like, all right, what y'all got now? You know, what we going to do? And I can also see the T-Wolves, because we kind of giving them, based on perception, like they're one of the tougher teams. You know, T-Wolves are tough. Detroit is tough. Like everybody in the playoffs right now are pretty tough. The Knicks are tough. But we'll see.
What is going on with the Philadelphia 76ers? And you know what's crazy?
That's a good pivot, brother.
144 points in an elimination game is absolutely ridiculous. That means you already gave up in game 3. That's what that's letting me know. I feel like they almost gave up in game 2 once they realized that Joel Embiid wasn't gonna play. I feel like they gave all their energy to Boston, and Boston ran them dry, only just to get past that first round.
Just to get past that first round.
It is nothing against the Knicks, because the Knicks have a great basketball team.
Great basketball team.
But the Sixers ought to be ashamed of themselves to get swept like that. Because talent-wise, they're not sweep-worthy.
No.
Talent-wise, they're not sweep-worthy.
Speak on it again.
You know what I mean? That's not how it's supposed to go. So, yeah, man. It's, I know that series is over and done with, but I am very curious to see what's going to happen going forward with the Sixers. Is Joel going to be on the trade block? Are they going to keep Tobias Harris, or is the team going to snag him? No, I keep saying Tobias Harris whenever I keep forgetting he actually is playing for Detroit.
They got Kelly Oubre now.
They got Kelly Oubre. But just looking at it, like, are they going to try to upgrade their small forward? Are they going to try to upgrade, their center? Is that a place where you may try to see if you can try to go get a Giannis? You know what I mean? Do you just completely break it up? It's just one of those things where you see that and it's like, I'm sorry, but it's maxed out. Now, I can see if it was one of those things where they took, the Knicks to a Game 7, You know what I'm saying? Took the Knicks to at least a game 6. You lose series. You got to win a couple games. You got to win a game. You got to win something, bro.
You got to win something. Or you got to fight.
You got to fight. So if you can't get none of that, and it don't even matter. Even an elimination game, I don't even care if they was in New York. To get whipped like that? Hold on, they weren't even in New York. Matter of fact, no. I'm tripping. They was in Philly. You ain't supposed to get whooped like that,
You're not supposed to. They're too good. They're too good. They're better than that. And we came on last week and we were singing the high praises for them and the Lakers. And I was just watching as the week went by. I'm like, man, I was wrong. I was wrong. And it's okay to be wrong too. I ain't mad about being wrong. I was hopeful because I was getting excited because it would have been excited to see the 76ers. I like the underdog story. I like when somebody come back and scrap and fight. I love that. I like almost get more excited for that than the easy expected win. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we expect the more dominant team to win. Okay. But then when you see that underdog fight back, it's like something in you. You just get excited. It makes it fun, right? And for them, the boys to come out there and just get swept like that, man. Let the brooms come out. And they just don't have a lot of depth on the benches with kind of what gets on them. I mean, they got Quentin Grimes and they got Andre Drummond trying to do something. They wound up going with Dominic Barlow a lot down there, and he actually looked pretty good. A little bit older. It's a little bit different for him. Yeah, he looked pretty good. Yeah. But I mean, to your point about what they should do coming out of the season, I mean, I don't see as constructed them doing more than what they just did. I mean, I like what they are trying to put together, but they almost need to restructure. It's almost like it's not that they have any bad players. I mean, the players that they have are good. Tyrese Maxey's good. Kelly Oubre can play. Paul George, of course, we know he is. And you got Joel Embiid, like one of the best bigs in the world. And so they got good players. But I don't know if they're the best fit for each other, for the culmination of skill sets and talents to be accentuated and highlighted and magnified, and to be able to actually let that result into a good chemistry to where they can actually win. I'm pretty sure Klay Thompson can do a lot of stuff other than stop and pop. But on the Golden State, they just need him to stop and pop. And so he just did that high level. He could probably drive, slam on you, play good defense, but they need him to stop and pop, right? And what did he do? He stopped and popped at a high level. And so sometimes certain talents can be suppressed, you know what I mean? When in certain positions, certain roles. Mm-hmm. Like Kelly Oubre is a good scorer, but when to score, when to be aggressive around a Tyrese Maxey and a Paul George who needs to get his shots because Paul George needs to warm up. Paul George had 7 points in 27 minutes. That's he went 1 for 4 from the 3-point line. That's not a PG game.
That's not good, bro.
PG need to be putting him up. Now, he's one of those players to where maybe he need to miss 10 in a row, and then he'll go on a heater and hit 8 for you in the fourth. You got to warm a guy like PG up. He only took 7 field goals. He went 3 for 7. He took 11 shots total. You got to warm a PG up. But you have PG, and it's awesome to think that as soon as he touches the ball, he can just create some magic for you. But some of these guys have a certain type of a game, and I just wish more teams spent more time really paying attention to the complete picture. Not just throwing a bunch of shit on the wall, saying, well, we got good shit. It should equal this. It's like, yeah, you got a bunch of good shit, but it's not necessarily equaling the results that you want, right? And so they made it to the playoffs, and they look good when Joel is in that lineup, but I just don't know if maybe they'll do better suited packaging one of the studs. I don't think it's a Tyrese, maybe a Joel, give him a different scenery, and getting some other big pieces in to go along, but being some smart pieces, not to say anything is wrong with what they have, but just
if I'm Golden State, I'm going for Joel Embiid this offseason.
Or I'm going for Joel or Jokic.
Yeah, but I don't think Jokic is going to go anywhere because I've seen Jamal Murray and somebody else is possible trade options because
I don't really want Jokic to go nowhere.
Denver ain't getting rid of him. Mm-hmm. They rather get rid of Jamal Murray, and they're just going to go ahead and break that up. But I feel like teams like Golden State now, since you re-signed Steve Kerr, that's probably had a lot to do with Steph Curry because Steph, if he retires or he leaves, I'm out of here too.
Right.
So that was probably one of those things. But I feel like if it's going to work out, you're going to have to see if you can send Joel Embiid out there to Golden State. I don't know what Golden State can give them, but even if that means shipping Draymond and company out to Philly. Cool. And it's like, well, would that still work out? Yeah, because Draymond's still an excellent defender. Still an excellent defender, and maybe he can help bring a gritty spark that the Sixers need out there.
I like where you're going with that.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, so you have that. Obviously, you probably
Pozemiowski or something like some other really good pieces. Yeah,
because you're gonna need something like that, and Joel Embiid, and maybe a future draft pick, something like that. It's gonna have to be something, but there's gonna be some lot of shuffling going on because what Philly has, it's done. I'm sorry. I think they got all the juice out to squeeze. Yeah, that's the rest of the juice that was in that lemon. That was it. It was the last little bit against Boston. Now they did they part for the Knicks. I'm gonna say that again. They did they part for the Knicks because I feel like it would have been more of a dangerous matchup to see Boston playing the New York Knicks.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So they did they part. So I think maybe the Knicks is like, hold on, shoot. Maybe we really can win this thing. I mean, I don't like
now's the time
because you think about a young Detroit team who will be playing obviously game 4 tonight against, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now we know what Cleveland can do, and we know they're capable of, but can they consistently be capable of doing what they're doing? And so going against a team like Detroit, I can see this still going to be getting pushed to a game 7. So I still don't know what we're going to get. I mean, it can be pushed to a game 7, and Donovan Mitchell just literally shows that he's always and have forever been him. You know what I'm saying?
Timothy, man. Donovan Mitchell is Timothy, man.
He's bro. Like,
talking about clutch.
When I watch him hoop, it's poetry, bro.
Talking about clutch,
bro. It's poetry watching him hoop. I just want to just see as a collective, as far as him and company, as far as the team, for them to be consistent. Because Detroit has a really good basketball team. They're young, but they're ready to rock and roll. They're ready to go ahead and make it happen this year. So we'll see how it looks tonight whenever they play them. But I must pivot, if you don't mind, to the Los Angeles Lakers.
The Lake Show. I'm looking at them right now.
Just a little bit. You know what? Really, honestly, I don't really have much to say except for that whole team's going to be a day somewhat after this year, too. Think LeBron
tired of seeing that.
I'm tired of seeing it.
Every year they just.
Well, I mean,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do because Oklahoma City is gonna probably blow out the Lakers tonight.
It's unfortunate. Is Luka's out, huh?
Yeah.
If Luka don't come back, and that's kind of what the foundation of the take was last week. Picking the Lake Show was the fact that Luka would cancel out the impact of Shea. It would be 1-for-1. You know what I mean? And then they both in foul trouble. So that would balance the scale. And then it would just be LeBron and his wizardry trying to get everything else going. Rui heat up, AR heat up. That lets everybody else then just be perimeter shooters, which they have. And then DeAndre only has to worry about a one-on-one matchup. Boom. But right now, without Luka.
Yeah, because I try to think of it like a party. If you have the DJ,
right,
and you have, and I'm talking about like a house party.
Absolutely.
If you have the DJ and then you have that one person that's pouring all the drinks. Luka's the DJ, so he's keeping everybody turned up. LeBron is that person that's pouring everybody the drinks to keep them ready to rock and roll the entire time.
Absolutely.
So what I'm saying is he's like navigating the whole team, but Luka's the one that's playing the music on the court. He's the one that's controlling the pace. Does that make sense? It's the pace. You like that though, but it's true though. You feel
like that. No,
because he's literally controlling the pace.
I like that.
So I was thinking about whenever Luka played with the Mavs and they played OKC, he was giving them hell.
That's what I'm saying.
And so I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, well,
I thought it was back game 3.
That's what I thought. And I was thinking, so I haven't checked the news update, but he's probably most likely going to be out. But you ask yourself why. The Lakers got to protect their franchise.
They do.
Because if he go out there and he ends up re-injuring himself because he's really just not ready like that, you're losing out on not only the series. Forget the series. You ain't worried about the series. You're losing out on if he even wants to sign with the Lakers going into the offseason. Because he didn't sign no big contract with the Lakers.
Yeah, man.
He didn't sign no contract with the Lakers. So what I'm looking at is, hey, if you want to keep Luka, you need to look out for the best interest of him health-wise. That way you can try to go get a Giannis.
Luka's out.
He's out? Yeah.
He's out.
It's good. from a Lakers fan, good.
It's kind of like Boston, like when Tatum is like,
Good, because you have to plan for the future.
always be another year, man.
You always be another year. You got to plan for the future. And so I'm also looking at like maybe the Lakers do get blowed out. Maybe they get blowed out, and maybe it may be one of those things where it's all like, well, we have to plan for the future. LeBron, are you gonna come back? And if you decide not to, then either way, we got to plan for Luka and company. Meaning we're gonna go after somebody. Even if it's like I said, Joel Embiid going to a Golden State, Joel Embiid going to the Lakers, or a Giannis coming to the Lakers.
I can see Giannis and Luka. That would be a
Man, you gotta have something. You gotta have something. It gotta be something.
But once again, it's not a good fit. You know, it's not a good fit. Again, it's kind of looking at great things, but does it gel with what you have? You know what I mean? Like an ingredient can be in one dish, can make the dish. Put that same ingredient in another dish, and it can turn the dish a whole different direction.
Yeah, you're right.
And so, I mean, when you have a Luka ball dominant, then you bring in Giannis, who ain't the same player if he's not ball dominant. He need the ball in his hand going downhill, fast and quick and airy. Okay, I see him a better fit on Golden State because I can take the ball out of Steph's hand, let this big anomaly come down the court, head full of steam, and if he ain't making nothing happen, best shooter in the world. Like out, Jimmy Butler, cleanup man, bam. Draymond ain't got to play the 5 all the time on the 7-footers.
It's unfortunate though because I think Draymond would probably have to leave that. Even though I think that
he'd have to
leave, but it's just so tough because he literally is the nucleus of what Golden State was, whether people want to admit it or not. He's a nucleus. He was the Dennis Rodman.
He's a spirit.
He's a spirit.
And that's what people don't know. That's why everybody's divided. 50% of people understand that, and the other 50 are like,
no, he can go. It's like, no. He is doing all the dirty work of setting people up or setting different screens and everything up to be able to make Steph available because him and Steph's chemistry is second to none in the NBA to the point where he knows whenever Steph's playing positive. He knows when Steph's like, no, somebody else needs to take this shot at certain times. He knows these things, so that's what makes him great.
Yeah, man.
And that's the thing that I'm looking at. I was like, well, now to your point, if they can keep him and bring in a Giannis, that would be great because Giannis is literally like the Hulk that can go crazy up and down the basketball court, which means what? Now, what's it called? Steph is literally Iron Man.
Yeah.
So everything that the Hulk's doing, whenever he can't handle it, okay, here come Iron Man with all his gadgets.
Yep.
And he can handle everything else. So you feel me?
You want to heat it today? That's a hell of a name.
but like, because I can just see that because that's literally how it is.
It is. It's true.
But yeah, we'll see though. We'll see. I just know going into this NBA draft, there's going to be some more shuffling. Did you hear? The Washington Wizards are now the number one. They have the number one pick in the draft.
They won the lottery?
Yep, they won the lottery. So that being said,
wait a minute.
There's a baby deer coming.
I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute.
Yeah, there's a baby deer coming into the league.
Washington Wizards have the number one pick.
Actually, I ain't gonna call him a baby deer. A baby pterodactyl coming into the league. And you know what his name is? AJ DeBonce. A certified athletic freak who's a leaner version of LeBron James. And I'm so curious to see how he is going to fit.
That's what they said about Cooper Flag.
Yes, because you know what's interesting? Now since they have number one overall pick, I know he may go through his injuries, but you just never know. Sometimes different sceneries bring different lives. You still have a Trae Young in place.
Speak on it. Who else?
And you still have your boy, I'm about to say Boogie Cousins, but your boy Anthony Davis in place.
So you got two pterodactyls.
You got two pterodactyls.
And you got a freaking...
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just looking at that. I don't know. It's just one of them things where now we living in an era where a lot of these young teams, they're only going to get better with time.
Very true.
And it's like not get better with time, but get better with time fast just because they're one draft pick away from being great. You got experienced point guard, you got experienced power forward, and you bring in a dominant shooting guard / small forward that's ready now. So he's kind of in the same position slightly as what Cooper Flag was in whenever the Mavs drafted him as far as just talent around. And it's like, yeah, granted, people was hurt, but I'm glad that they allowed Trae Young, Anthony Davis just sit out after you got traded. Let's plan for
get
the
healthy,
future.
yeah.
Just get healthy. So fresh bodies means fresh energy. Because like whenever he comes in, it's like, well, hey, they could be chess pieces to allow for him to be kind of like the queen on the chessboard where you just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the positivity that now you go into the league. Most of these players that's coming into the league, they come in ready to play now. There's no waiting around. They already who they are now. The only thing that changes is just having more players on board like that. So are they in the Eastern Conference?
Who's that?
The Wizards. They in the Western Conference?
No, I think they're in DC.
So they're in the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay, we'll see them
Yeah,
in
I
the
don't think they're
playoffs
in
next year.
Washington State.
Yeah, we'll see them in the playoffs next year.
Yeah, man, some good games going on. So, I guess let's do some predictions about some of the games that are going on this week. You think the Lakers out of there?
They're gone.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's a wrap. I think we might. You think we're gonna have one more Superman performance from LeBron?
No, he's reserved.
Yeah, he's a little bit smarter now.
And there's no need. Why should I put my body on the line like that? There's only another reason why I put my body on the line like that. I need somebody else to put their bodies on the line. I need 2 consistent games from AR. If I don't get that, and I don't get no certified rebound from DeAndre Ayton, that's it for me.
Yeah. What about Cleveland?
No more airballing 6 feet from the goal. You know, it's get out your head.
That's the worst nightmare.
You're really that great, DeAndre Ayton.
He is, man.
You really are, bro.
He really is.
You really are that great, bro. You don't like get out your head. Get out your head. You know what I'm saying?
He low key has like and no negativity towards DeAndre Ayton, because what we're saying is that he is a great talent.
He is.
And that's why he keeps contract, because his potential.
His potential.
He's a big scoring big, but it's kind of like that Ben Simmons type deal. Like, it's who knows what happened there, right? Kind of got out of position. They started asking him to do different things outside of his bag. But whoever Ben Simmons was coming out of college, it eventually changed towards the back end of his NBA career. Right now with DeAndre Ayton, whoever he was coming out of college, number 1 pick and all this type of stuff, it's kind of changing now toward the back end of his career, trying to find an identity. Am I a shooter? Am I dominant down there? And I think that sometimes they ask him to be dominant, and sometimes they ask him to shoot. But whatever you're going to do, you need to do it at a high level. And that's all it is. You know, especially on a team like that need you. And so, I mean, this is the game tonight where you mess around and have an all-star game out of DeAndre Ayton, because he give you 2 a series. You know what I'm saying? But you got to plan around. I mean, we talked about that before playoffs. We were like, DeAndre will give you 2 games. But you got to plan around those 2 games, because you don't know when they're going to come. And if you got Luke and everything, now you can cover up the other games that ain't so good. You got 4 rebounds and 7 points and all this type of stuff. Yeah. But tonight, maybe he give you one of those games, and then LeBron step up. AR has one of those games. Luke Kennard mess around, go off 25 points, and then they squeeze the dub out. Who knows?
Has LeBron ever been swept?
LeBron? That's a great question.